All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Somers Town Board work session and our regular meeting. Both meetings have been combined for this evening, starting here at 7:07, Thursday, February 13th, 2025. Before we start, though, I'd like to call up the scouts to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
All right.
Oh.
Gang.
Gather around.
Scout gang.
I pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Scouts.
Thank you, everyone. All right, Patty, can we, before we start, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman William P. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard Lynch.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rod Scarano.
Here.
Rob, can I just make one quick comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to thank the scouts for doing this and just let the people at home know that the town of Somers is a real vibrant scout community. We have two great troops, 376 and 228. As I was telling the young men here, my son was in 228. He became an Eagle Scout, but they do so many projects in town. And that's one of the reasons they're here also is obviously for the angle fly, but they do things at Rhinoceros Park and at Reese Park and other things like that. So we thank you for what you guys do. You're a great organization, and we appreciate all the projects you do in town. So, and thanks for being here at the meeting.
Good
I'll
work.
try not to bore you too much.
Thank you so much. All right, let's go on to our public hearing. Make a motion to open up our public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Trailside Estates residential development for proposed zoning map and text amendments to allow for the construction of 76 market rate townhomes and 5 sponsored provided units marked at or below 120% AMI, along with an approximately 6,000 square foot community center with an address 0 Route 6 to rezone from the existing R80 residence district and R40 residence district and PH Planned Hamlet district to multifamily residence Baldwin Place, MFR, BP district, and including text amendments to the section 170-13A multifamily residence MFR district to add 18C affordable housing dwelling unit credits.
Publishing and posting.
Patty, publishing and postings, please.
That was published in the Somers Record on January 30th and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board.
Okay. Now we have some people here. Ken, do you want to come up and,
Want me to?
yeah, why don't you come up and we got a bunch of people here.
Good evening, Supervisor Scarano, council members, counselor, Patty, Linda, thank you. Good seeing everybody again. Ken Carney, I'm here with my son and partner, Sean Carney. Charlie Montalbano, our counsel, Rich Williams is going to give a brief overview. And our other son and partner, Brian, is here. Brian's a teacher in a local high school. He has a couple fellows with him. He started an internship program, the WISE program, where he takes young guys in and try to teach them business in the real estate. So they're kind of following us around. They're in the back. So I'll bring Rich up. Rich will give a broad overview, and we're here to answer any questions prior to public comment. Rich?
How's it going, Rich?
We're just here a lot. That's cool.
Good thing you live local.
It does help. So, good evening. For your record, Richard Williams with Insight Engineering. And as Ken mentioned, we're here tonight to talk about Trailside at Somers. Trailside is a 56.8 acre piece of property. The easiest way to get everybody oriented as to where it is. Brought a plan with me, which I'll just walk through, but it's behind the Somers Realty Plan Hamlet and Stop and Shop or shopping center in Baldwin Place. And if you recall, during the Somers Realty Plan Hamlet, Reynolds Drive, which is this road here on this plan. So looking at this plan here, you'd have the back end of the shopping center, Avalon Bay, both offside, the North County Trailway, which runs north and south, which forms our eastern border, and Reynolds Drive, which comes here, which is behind Avalon. That was constructed as part of the Somers Realty Plan Hamlet. It was contemplated as part of the Plan Hamlet, and it was always intended to provide access to the property. What we've done is we've laid out an 81 unit townhome development with 23 2-bedrooms and 58 3-bedrooms. On the 56.8 acres, we would allocate 20 acres to conservation, and that's land that lies along the bike trail to help preserve and keep the area along the bike trail forested. You can see that in the lighter color here. We'd also be placing in that conservation area the on-site wetlands. There are wetlands located centrally throughout the site, which we've had flagged by an environmental consultant. And in addition to the townhome units, which you can see here in brown, and basically run north-south along the western edge of the property, we also have on the northern end a 7.5 acre piece of property that would be donated to the town of Somers, on which a 5,800 square foot community center would be built. The property is going to be serviced by public water and public sewer. They connect back into the Plan Hamlet. You have petitions requesting same that have been submitted to you. As part of the environmental review, we worked with town staff through numerous internal reviews, and we provided you with a full environmental assessment, part 1, a traffic study, an ecological setting and consideration of focal species of concern study, fiscal analysis, a stormwater and utilities narrative, stormwater pollution prevention plan, wastewater engineering reports, and water engineering reports. And with that being said, we're really here tonight to answer questions.
Rich, just a question. You did not mention dog park. Is
Next to the community center, we would do a small dog
All right.
park.
Part of the 7.5 acres?
It would be on the 7.5 acres that are
Good.
going to be dedicated to the town.
Rich, did you say 76 plus 5? Or 77?
76 plus 5,
76.
total 81.
81. That's good.
and
In previous
plan-
discussions, there was some issue about, school buses. Presumably the roads have now been widened to accommodate the school bus coming in and out.
Great comment. All the roads are designed to meet town road spec. We do have cul-de-sacs at the end of each road. We've also provided a secondary access through the property, which loops back to the road network, just so that, we do have a long straight road, but we decided to provide extra means of egress based on comments from the town.
And that community center, and Mr. Carney knows the question, is going to be built. So if we chose to expand it, it's all ready for that. And your architect has figured that out for us.
Yes, and what I've pledged is, as we move this along,
Expanded at your cost. Oh, sorry.
that is the Mets color today. I want to point that out. for the Yankees. What I pledged is that as we make our way through the site plan process, there will be a meeting here with our architect, yourself, other interested board members, and we'll lay that out. There is a possibility, if you want, at that time, and Rich can talk about it, to possibly flip the community center to the other side. And it would be easier if you, right now, we envision expanding it out this side here, okay? If we flipped it over here, put the parking more here, grading would allow it to be more feasible to expand it on either side. So you would have more options. So I'm saying that as we work our way through the site plan with the planning board, we will come back and sit down here with the architect and Rich, and you tell us what works best. If it stays in this site, we'll tell you what we're doing. The architect is well aware. He's designing the building, knowing full well that the plan is to expand it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Anybody else? Questions? Do you want to come up?
Let me ask
Yes.
one question. At what point would the building of the, like what phase would the community center be built?
Well, the town has been very adept at holding my feet to the fire. We built that commercial building, and to ensure that we built the commercial building, we tied a CO for the last residential building that we had to meet certain certain completion for the commercial building. So we're open to a discussion.
Okay, good.
What we'd like to, if we could, I mean, we'd like to get
It's going.
certain percentage going, and then we'll do that. And then there will be a point agreed upon that center will be completed. It's not going to wait all the way to the end, right? So whatever,
So it'll be in the planning board approvals.
Yeah.
Generally the way that.
yes.
So Ken, when do we break ground? Will my grandchild be able to move in? One of,
What time is it now? I mean, it's not supposed to snow tomorrow.
Got a shovel in the back.
Change.
You know, there's a few, you know, we have the planning board. It was referred out to the planning board, and we had a visit with them back in September 2023 that went well. So I think it was well received there. So hopefully, you know, before the end of the year, we could go start before.
I do get people asking, you know, this was originally conceived probably 4 years ago,
Yeah,
and these take time.
long
Yeah,
time ago.
Long
right?
time, right? So it takes time.
Yeah.
And if I even reflect back at Monticello, you know, almost 10 years to get from, you know, the first conception plans to all the approvals. Just general question, how's it going with the county and, you know, the sewer district?
We're moving forward under the assumption that nothing has changed from we had a meeting with them after
Yeah.
August 23. So we had a meeting probably in September or October. And I've gone through these meetings before, right? This is the 5th time I'm asking to access the sewer, right? The 5th time. And every time it's a discussion, and when you walk out, you know what the county's expectation is. So we knew what the expectation was. They asked for the 5 units at 120%. Came back to the town. You were very gracious enough to work with us. So in my mind, that's still the expectation. So if you meet that expectation from the original meeting, then I don't see a problem. They know it's coming. John just worked with them on a large project. He had a closing down in Yonkers that Westchester County Planning was very involved. And, you know, they know that they've asked us what's going on. We said it's going through the local process. So what we expect after tonight, hopefully we can submit the water and sewer petitions and advance that further.
Okay.
Dave?
Mr. Smith. Dave's going to walk us through the process.
Yes. Thank you. For the record, David Smith, Planning Director for the Town of Somers. Somebody had mentioned time and how much time has gone on with respect to this process. The applicant submitted a formal petition back in August of 2023 for the proposed map and text amendments. And as part of that, they submitted a full environmental assessment form. And I'm going to be using a number of these acronyms, and one of them is SEQR, and that stands for the State Environmental Quality Review Act. That's the environmental process that any board or decision-making body needs to follow with respect to the review of potential environmental impacts for proposed action. So the applicant submitted a full environmental assessment form, a concept plan for the proposed action, as Mr. Williams had described previously. The petition was revised slightly in August of 2023, and there was a circulation of what's called a notice of intent to act as lead agency. And what that means is that your board, as the principal body, decision-making body with respect to the proposed action related to the proposed zoning map and text amendments, circulated the notice to a number of interested and involved agencies, including Westchester County Planning, New York City DEP, New York State DEC, New York State DOT, and your planning board and a number of other boards within the town of Somers. You received 3 responses back, I think, from the county, from the planning board, and from New York City DEP, if I recall correctly, none of whom objected to the town board acting as lead agency and coordinating the environmental review. So in September of 2023, you classified the action as a type 1 action, and you declared yourself lead agency to coordinate the environmental review. So at that point, you directed the applicant to prepare a series of reports which Mr. Williams had identified: traffic, impacts to the environment, utilities. And one of the things that Mr. Williams didn't include in his list was a series of plans, detailed plans, which included site plan, landscaping plan, stormwater management, erosion control, all of which help the town identify potential impacts with respect to the proposed action. So you reviewed those documents in detail. You asked the applicant to provide some additional information before those documents were made available to the public. And in May of 2024, after reviewing the revised documents, they were circulated to all the other interested and involved agencies. And you requested that each of those agencies review the entirety of the documentation and provide you with any comments back on the impacts of the proposed project. In June of 2024, the applicant met with the Bureau of Fire Prevention specifically to address concerns that they had with respect to access. And those concerns were adequately addressed with respect to the revised site plan that's currently before you. The next step in the process was to consider the comments that were raised as part of the environmental assessment form. The applicant prepared responses to those. And I would note that as part of the public information process, the town circulated a newsletter, or I think that's the correct term, a mass email to all the residents that specifically identified this project. And you made available on the town website all of the review documents, the plans, and the studies, so that there was full transparency and that the public had access to this information before any decision was made by your board. Now, with respect to the next steps, you're holding your public hearing right now. Once you close the public hearing, if you deem to close it tonight, the next step in the process would be to make an environmental determination. And as part of the review package and materials that you've received from our office is the Environmental Assessment Form Part 1, which is prepared by the applicant, Environmental Assessment Form Part 2, and Environmental Assessment Form Part 3, which are prepared by the town on behalf of the town board as the lead agency. And it's important to note that EAF Part 2 contains this whole series of approximately 18 different impact areas, and it asks your board to evaluate each of those and whether there's a no to small impact, a medium impact, or a large impact. And I believe that upon review and reflection of the material submitted, and based on the documentation provided by the applicant, particularly with respect to their mitigation on physical disturbance to the land with respect to stormwater pollution prevention plan, and erosion sediment control plan, a landscape plan, that the impacts have been mitigated to the maximum extent practicable. So you have, in addition, with the Environmental Assessment Form Part 3, was an extensive narrative, probably 9 or 10 pages, detailing how you have evaluated each of these impact areas and concluded essentially that the impacts have been mitigated to the maximum extent practicable. And as part of that evaluation, at some point you would issue what's called a negative declaration. And that concludes the environmental review process for the proposed action that you're considering, which is the zoning map amendment and the zoning text amendment. The applicant will still be required to go to the planning board for subdivision and site plan approval. There will still be an opportunity for the public to participate as part of public hearings with respect to that application. And there will be continued coordination with the other town boards and committees once we get to the site plan phase. And in the site plan, really, we're getting into details, the specific type of landscaping, the way the stormwater management specifically works with the size of pipes. And I would add that the town staff and your traffic consultant have reviewed all of the material, and they conclude, as with this office, that the impacts that have been identified have been mitigated to the maximum extent practicable. So, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, that's a fairly brief summary of the process that you've been
No,
through. I appreciate for that summary. I mean, it gives everybody here in the audience, but also gives public out there full understanding of the process that we go through and how everything was followed accordingly and full transparency out there. So thank you for that great overview. So if I have any questions, I'm here to answer them. I'll be in the back in case anything comes up from the public.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody from the public here? Come on up.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening, Mike.
Mike McBride, retired state engineer in charge of Northern Westchester. Presently live in Heritage Hills. And I think that this project will be a great benefit to the community. He's going to have a connection up to the trail also, I believe. He is also committed to make a connection to the proposed Green Tree Estates if necessary, which would obviate the battle with the crossing of the trail from Green Tree Drive, which I officially prohibited back in the early 2000s. I dealt with Ken Carney on Avalon and the Muse and another project, Mr. Carney. And he did anything and everything I asked for. He needed my sign off for the permits. Route 6 is a state highway. But he has the retention basin, so he's got great experience in doing the retention basins and solving any problems with regards to the retention basins. I think the project will have a FONSI, which is finding of no significant impact. And one of the things where that new road, proposed road through the Trailside Estates, people can get over to Route 118 without entering onto Route 6. So they can go behind the Stop and Shop, and that is built for that. So if they want to head east or even north, they can make the left onto 118 and the right onto Route 6 north and avoid a little bit of the intersection. So the community center is terrific. The 20 acres, and I've been at some other meetings where there's been the discussions about expanding the community center and just to have another place besides Van Tassel House. And this, I don't know if you said I heard pickleball courts, which I don't play, but volleyball I tried to play. And anything and everything I had asked Mr. Carney over the years. I'm long retired now, but he always came through, and I'm in strong favor of it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Indoors.
Anybody else have anything to say? No?
Excellent.
Excellent. All righty. I'll make the motion to close out public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. That takes us to first the EAF. I'll make the motion to adopt the EAF, the Environmental Assessment Form, Parts 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. On to the next one, adopt the neg deck, environmental determination. Make the motion to adopt the neg deck.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And then go on to the next one here, adopt the local law zoning amendment. Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think.
Yeah, you know what? I'll move up, actually, I'll move up the other stuff there too. So since we got it here, we're gonna do it afterwards, but
Good idea.
this is the resolution.
Adoption of the local law with the resolution that Dave prepared, just so you. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And we do have a couple add-ons here. Let's go with this. Patty, we'll just move those up right there. No, it's the resolution to extend the Somers Sewer District Number 1. Patty, can I make a motion to extend the Somers Sewer District Number 1? Can we get a roll call, please?
Well, get a second.
Second.
Because you had that public hearing back
Maybe.
in November, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was November or December.
October.
October even.
October.
And then you close the hearing at that point. So now you can adopt these.
Okay. So make a motion to adopt the resolution to extend the Somers Sewer District Number 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Patty, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchey.
Aye.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Aye.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Been demoted. Aye.
Hey.
Never.
Okay, and let's go on to the next one here. Authorize the extension of the Peekskill Hollow Sewer District to include the boundaries of the Parkview Extension area of the Somers Sewer District Number 1 to the Board of Legislators of the County of Westchester.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't have to do a roll call, right? No.
You do on that one as well.
On
You do?
petition?
On-
Patty, can we do a
on
roll
the-
call?
On the resolution,
Okay.
right?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Aye.
Anyways, cool.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchey.
Yes.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Aye.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Aye. Okay,
Water district.
you very much.
water district?
Mhm.
Sorry.
Which is another one?
We have those.
Oh, you need water.
Water district.
Jeez. I'll make a motion to authorize the extension of the Somers Water District, right?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That has to be a
Roll
roll.
call.
Yeah, we're gonna roll call that. Patty, roll call, please.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchey.
Yes.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Aye.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we're all done.
Now we're
Okay.
Now, I don't know how many copies of the petition to the county have to be provided to the county. That'll have to be verified
Okay.
with the secretary to the Board of Legislators. Okay, I'll need 2 certified of each resolution for the local districts sent to me because I file with the state controller and the county clerk.
Perfect. Righty.
Guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Second for everybody to clear out. You know, Patty, I forgot the name. I forgot to put that in.
Is it affiliated with the lunar calendar? How do you do that? I had
Yeah.
How do we?
Got the last one.
Just, yeah. What is?
I wrote it all out.
Got the water district.
Yeah, I know. So I got to put the.
But you would be voting before, but not when he was a councilman. When he was a
All
councilman.
righty. Well,
The good thing has the same boundaries.
It does. yeah.
But it might not.
Maturity. Or council.
Let's move on to here to public comment. Make a motion to open up public comment.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, anybody here for public comment?
All right.
No?
Oh, my.
All right, if no one here for public comment, make the motion to close out public comment.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So move. All right, Patty, do we have department report, please?
I have reports from the town clerk, building inspectors, Board of Appeals, plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, Parks and Recreation, Planning and Engineering, tax receiver, and director of.
Great, thank you so much. And then let me just get on to here, a little bit of town updates. Crosswalk has been completed. Oh, yep, finally it's fully operational, so we're excited about that. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony the other day for Thelma Barlow Crossing, named it after Thelma Barlow. So that was a nice,
Very big in the scouts as well.
it was very big in the Scouts as well.
She recruited me.
Everybody makes a mistake.
I know.
And then the other update I'll give here is the Reese Park Access Road to Plumbrook. It's in its initial phases. It was discussed, it had been at our town board meetings, but it's also, once again, last night at our planning board meeting. These are improvements, increased parking spots, some pickleball courts as well. This is a secondary access road. This is a need as per our conversations with our first responders. And then the first phase will remove the 3 tennis courts there and put pickleball and put some more parking in there, by adding 4 pickleball courts to allow in new parking. We are reviewing the environmental assessment form, and once we do that, we'll have some more information back to everybody else on that. That's where we are with the Reese Park access road. And now we have Anglefly Preserve update from Michael Barnhart, the chairman, Open Space Committee.
Yeah.
Michael, if you'd like to come up, and Steve, you want to come up, just give a introduction here, it'd be great. We do have a lot of people in the audience here this evening. So, Steve?
I think back in 2000, right, when the land trust kind of removed itself from stewardship of the Anglefly property, and the full burden fell on the town and specifically the Parks and Recreation Department. Supervisor Scarano and myself met with Michael. We met with the scouts, we met with the hunters, and we called upon the public and the volunteers to help assist, specifically the Parks and Recreation Department, be the eyes, the ears, and extra manpower. And over the past couple of years, they've been doing a great job of helping us out and teaming up. And I think Michael asked to come to more formally show appreciation for their efforts.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. No, and yeah, when the Somers Land Trust had to step back, we had a big void that we needed to fill, and Parks and Rec definitely needed some assistance. So I thought you might like to meet and become acquainted with the volunteers who actually stepped forward and helped us out. And I would note that we've managed to keep the place in good shape, in good order. I have to thank Steve and the Parks and Rec crew in particular, whom he's lent out to us to keep things open, and they've done a superb job. But they've been assisted in their efforts by both our in-town Boy Scout troops and also by the hunters. So the Boy Scouts have generally been confining their efforts to the central section. Remember, there are three sections. There's the eastern section between Route 139 and 100. And then there's the central section where you enter off 139 there, and that runs over to what we call the DEP side, which is owned by the DEP, but we have a trails permit there, and for all intents and purposes, we maintain that property as well. So I've been a kind of roving reconnaissance person, letting people know where there are problems, and because I'm certified also taking out a lot of the down trees. But everybody else has really stepped up to blaze trails, to clip back the brush, to let us know where there are problems, to repair trail structures and everything else. So I was going to give them an opportunity, at least the leaders, to give you a quick update on what they'd done and to introduce their members. And so I'm going to call on the Boy Scouts first, and Greg McClure and Adam Shilkraut.
Thank you, everybody. I have actually had the pleasure of meeting most of you here at various events. The town's been a great supporter of scouting in the town of Somers. Adam and I have met most of you. I know a lot. I think a year ago, we hosted a scout night here for the Cub Scouts, so they could see how government worked with Judge McDermott, which was fantastic, and a lot of you came and attended. As Michael said, Town Supervisor Rob Scarano reached out to us, I want to say about a year ago. Is that about right now? Year and a half, 2 years ago.
That long ago?
Yeah.
That long. Wow. Time
To help out, that the town needed some help out with Anglefly, and obviously scouting is a lot about service. We also thought it was a great opportunity, Adam and I thought, for the boys and girls involved in scouting to be physical activities, community service, and also show them appreciation of this is your town, and to make it keep it going the way we all know and love it, that we had to give some extra care to our town facilities. Adam has done, we partner on a lot of different, while we're right now in different troops, our children started in the same Cub Scout pack. Adam's wife is the leader of the Cub Scout pack right now for Pack 1. Their daughter's still there. So we have a very good, close working relationship. We've also focused, like Michael said, we started off focusing in the center of the park. I live in Amawalk, so I've kind of taken on with some of the boys, and the 228 is at Troop 228 is in the Amawalk Fire Department. So we've taken more of the further sections of the park down to Lasden, and slowly working our way down there too. And I think we're getting close. It's challenging with boys and girls sports schedules and other schedules, but we are slowly making our way through there to reblaze the entire park as well as help out Michael when he needs something. Adam, do you want to say anything?
Yep, sure. So thank you, everybody, for giving us the chance to be here. Thank you, Michael, for bringing us. And you know, I don't want to repeat anything that Greg said, but you know, I think as many of you know, nature, conservation, service, these are all core elements of scouting, and the work at Anglefly gives us the chance to check all of those boxes, which is phenomenal. So we've enjoyed doing it. We look forward to doing more of it. We've even met with some interesting challenges along the way that were unexpected, like the time we organized with one of the dens in the Cub Scout group, and one of our 376 scouts. We were going to go do some trail clearing, and it was right after a big storm, I guess, and there was a huge tree that had come down across the main road going up into Anglefly, so nobody could actually get up in there. And so the small but mighty band of Cubs and a scout, with a little help from the parents, managed to clear enough of the tree away to let a bunch of visitors get in there. So it's been a good exercise for the scouts to get to see that, and we have a number of them here today that I think we'd like to recognize. So, well, from 376, we've got my son Riley.
All right.
Stand up, Riley.
Get that camera. Oh, nice.
And from Cub Scout Pack 1, we've got my daughter Sage.
Oh. Oh, wow.
But all four of them were part of the tree crew.
Nice.
Very nice.
Strong.
So for the scouts from 228, we have my son Luke McClure. Ardella. Though they all helped.
Fellas.
Thank you. Thanks, boys.
Well, great.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Hey, Adam and Greg, thanks for your leadership. It's a lot of work.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
And your wife as well. I know she's out there. Okay.
And it doesn't go unnoticed that Adam actually developed a platform for us that we can all
Yes.
stay in contact. And when the scouts go out, they can
They
note
did.
things that need to be fixed.
Oh, good.
We can note things that we're looking for that need to be worked on. And we got offered a little bit lately, but it's a huge help to myself, to Michael, to the scouts, so that they can look on, instead of just emails. They can put pictures up, and it was a great help, Adam.
That's great.
Yeah, and it documents what we've done. I had forgotten much of what we'd done until I went on the Trello site today to remind myself, and it was quite reassuring. So the other group who has been really stood out and helped tremendously are our hunters who hunt regularly on Anglefly. We've had a program that's been managed through the Parks and Rec Department and has been very successful. So the hunters agreed to take over the maintenance of the entire eastern section, and they've done a fabulous job. It's all open. The trails are open. That's a very tough section because there are many open areas where you get a lot of invasive growth, and everything, especially in the summer, can cover over very quickly. So I wanted to introduce the two Anthonys who have taken on leadership in this, Anthony Bambach and Anthony DeQuinzio.
Come on up.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Scarano, members of the board, thank you for having us here tonight. I'm Anthony Bambach, for the record, 5 DeLuca Lane, Carmel, New York. I was graciously brought into the program by Bob Mendoza back in 2013. He is the head coordinator for the hunting program. I am the assistant coordinator of the hunting program, as well as designated to Anthony DeQuinzio. I appointed him, or Bob and I appointed him back in 2017, and he has been an awesome lifeline. He's picked up a lot of the slack that I can't now provide with kids and stuff. Day-to-day activities for us during the hunting season involve checking logs,
coordinating with the hunters who have harvested deer. To date, we have harvested roughly about 125 female and male deer. Overall, with the trail maintenance now, I think it's a great opportunity for us to give back to the town who's provided us with a great space to recreate in which most towns won't be able to provide. You know, there's very, very limited deer management programs in Westchester County. So for the town of Somers to have ours to support us, what we do is definitely not unnoticed and greatly appreciated. Thank you to Steve Ralston and Andrew Johnson and the Parks and Rec for unwavering support, as well as Michael Barnhart. So for me, that's about it.
One question.
Yes, sir.
I know that the deer population has been an issue some years more than others.
Yeah.
How is it now on that parcel?
You want to know my honest opinion? We have
No.
Always,
yeah,
always,
there's-
always.
For honest.
in comparably to the rest of the counties in New York State, Westchester County is very low now. So if you ask a biologist, they're going to tell you something different. The numbers the last 4 years in the state record have shown minimal deer compared to the rest of the state. I think as hunters, we've done our job tremendously. And I think, so just for example, if you go to like the western half of the state, you'll roughly have 2,500 to 3,000 deer taken per year. Westchester County is averaging between 500 and 700 deer a year now. So
And that's healthier.
much healthier. So we've seen that, right?
Cell.
Yeah. So with our main goals of forest rejuvenation, water conservation, limiting the number of deer to vehicle accidents, Lyme disease transmission, we have seen a reduction in all of those. Our forest rejuvenation has risen inside the parks. And overall, I think our numbers are down.
Do they migrate, you know, if you're kind of concentrating on the park, do they just disperse out?
Of course, yeah. So for here, their home range.
My
depending-
yard.
Yeah.
No,
I abut-
I saw three
Got a
at the yard the other,
So
coming
comparably to
house.
the rest of the state, right? It depends on the region. Right?
Yeah.
Westchester County here, they're gonna move between bedding and food, which is basically moving from, let's say, Anglefly to the houses around, which are your main food sources when there's not abundance of a mass crop, let's say like acorns, like we saw this year. But if you go up to the Adirondacks, right, they're gonna actually move down to the farmland and they're gonna get out of the mountains where there's higher snow totals. So in those higher elevations, in those bigger regions, you're gonna see a bigger migration. Here, it's more of their daily day activity of them roaming, basically just foraging, looking for food. And at the end of the day, that's their only thing is to breed and eat and survive. So
That's me. That's my day.
yeah. So,
Oh my God, I didn't do that.
Hey, Rich.
Jeez Louise.
but I can say this is that our top priority is being safe. We have had 0 accidents in the program to date. Safety is our number one priority, and then having fun is the next one. So I think we're very successful at that.
When this started,
Yeah.
I was first on the town board and I found out you can hunt over there. Are you nuts? You know, like a lot of people, and I don't hunt. I didn't know anything about it. And Steve, it's Greg, who is down Greg, a hunter over in Lincolndale. Greg, he's been
Krause?
Greg Krause, yes. And so I was working with him.
He's got you.
Thank you. And he was explaining to me how it's the benefit of the town. The hunt, you want the hunters in there, the people who actually know and will preserve and not do crazy stuff. So it limits the amount of
And
crazy people who.
that's part of our process, right? So
Yeah.
in the beginning of the year, let's say in August, we'll open up registration and qualifications where Anthony, myself, and Bob will oversee qualifications. We sit these guys down, we talk to them, we get a kind of feel for their morale, for their intentions, what they are, how they are as hunters, what their goals are, and then we look at their equipment, and then we have them shoot in front of us, and then if they're proficient in actual their climbing abilities inside the park. So it's not just like, all right, you're going to hunt here. It's a very layered system. That is a system in place that I think is pretty flawless, and it allows us to see the good and the bad. And we always have say of who comes in and who doesn't.
But as you go through this, I'm thinking deer and bow.
Mhm.
But there, at times of the year, there are like small game hunting that goes on there.
Correct. In the Anglefly unit,
And
the-
That borders, yeah, so for the town of Somers Park, Anglefly itself, you're not allowed to use firearms for the parkland. But on the DEP property that borders to the western section,
It's only the DEP part.
only the DEP part for small game, and it's actually marked on the map for the New York State DEP or New York City DEP. So you can hunt turkey, rabbit.
Yeah, and we do get some complaints.
Yes, we're aware of them. So we try to mitigate those as much as possible. We try to educate. As a police officer myself, I can have that conversation with people like, hey, I get it. It might be scary that people are using guns and stuff, but it is lawful to do that. So
It's only
Glad you clarified that.
season,
Not on
not any time, right?
say it again.
What's that?
Certain hunting season.
Yeah, correct. So commonly small game hunting runs from September to March 27th is really kind of when we close up usually. That's usually the end of coyote season. And then May 1st to May 31st, you'll have a turkey season, which we allow to hunt on our property as well as the DEP property you can. And then you're going back into the fall.
Excellent.
Thank you. So, thanks for.
Anthony, anything?
Hey, Town Board Supervisor, thank you for the opportunity. I kind of wanted to talk about the volunteer side of things. We were asked to take care of the Plumbrook side, which is roughly about 140 acres. And thank you to Steve and Andrew Johnson. Anytime we needed something, they dropped what they were doing to give us equipment or whatever. But a lot of the hunters side, a lot of guys that volunteered brought their own equipment, which is a great thing. And their gas, their hedge trimmers, weed whackers, they came prepared, gloves, whatever they needed, they brought. And we really did a great job this year. I moved to Somers about 6 years ago. And one of the big reasons was the open space. I'm always hunting, I'm always hiking, I'm always fishing. And so Anglefly to me, the moment that I was in there about 10 years ago, I fell in love with it. And so Anthony always jokes around, it's kind of like our little baby. But volunteering there is my way of giving back to what I love, and to have other people enjoy the park as much as I do. There's nothing that I think is a better feeling. So what I am going to do, and I do want to talk to you tomorrow, is I want to find a way where other people, residents or whoever, if they're interested in volunteering, to reach out to Michael or Steve or Anthony or I, and we can get them to help out volunteering, because to me, I love nature. And so it's important to get out there, and it's free exercise as well. So, but it's an honor to help out the town. And as Anthony had said, thank you to all of you for supporting us. And
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and to have people who are willing to help us as well, and especially the hunters. But if residents want to help, they're more than welcome. We set up dates, which we'll probably do in the spring. We usually have one day a month, which is usually a Saturday or Sunday, and we could maybe make a list of those days. I think we did maybe 5 or 6 of them last year, where we go in and, I always say, whenever you want to come, if it's a half hour, an hour, we usually do about 8, 1 or 2, but whatever anyone can do. There were a few people that did come more than once, and to take time away from your family or, whatever else you can do to come help, I think your time is the most valuable thing that we have. So it's a great thing, and to walk the park and to look at it and say, I helped other people enjoy this. I think it's an awesome thing. So thank you to all of you as well for helping out.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.
And just to follow up on that, I'd like to mention some of the hunter volunteers who've helped out in this. Besides both our Anthony's, there's Emilio Zullo, Jay Evangelista, Harold Fraga, Albino Dragon, Orlando Abreu, Tom Vendito, Ricardo Sands, Michael O'Gara, and Richard Kaminsky. All of them worked very hard. So one other request that Anthony DeQuinzio had suggested to me, which I think is a good thing, is if we could get the work days that the hunters schedule up on the website.
Yeah.
So that we could, alert people that they can go there and find out what days we'll be working and where to meet and things like that. We can include some information about
That'd be great.
when to rendezvous and so forth.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay. The only other thing I would want to mention is I had given, I think I sent to you, Rob, and also Rich is aware of this, a suggestion to formalize my role.
Taking my thunder here, aren't you?
Well, I'll let you go with it. Like,
No, Michael, with everything that you've done for us and Anglefly Preserve, right? I think the board and myself want to make you the Anglefly Preserve Conservation Steward.
oh, thank you.
The duties to assist and advise Superintendent of Parks and Recreation regarding maintenance and upkeep of the recreational trails and other passive recreational resources pertaining to the Anglefly Preserve, with implementation and compliance with the New York City DEC conservation easement and town-county adopted management plan covering town-county-owned portions of the Anglefly Preserve, and as liaison with the New York City DEP, and to assist in maintaining the town's trails agreement. So thank you so much for all that you do. And, this started with you, with everything that you've done over there. So your big thanks to all of this and bringing everybody together and organizing tonight and getting to hear from everybody else there, from the scouts and from the hunters, from Steve. It's been a really big help for us. And so we couldn't think anything else in making you that the conservation steward for the Anglefly Preserve.
Yeah, thanks so much, and I really appreciate it, and it's really an honor to serve in that capacity.
It's a great appointment. It comes with no pay, no benefits.
Right. Yeah, the big
That's kind.
Deal for the town gets everything and nothing. But the gentleman mentioned time away from family, and no one has spent more time on that than you over the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
So we've all benefited from your devotion, your loyalty, your knowledge, incredible knowledge of it and what you've given. So, the least we can do is, give you a title and a magnet on the side of your car or something.
Yeah, that would help actually. Something so that when I
Want a magnet on the side of your car?
yeah, so people know that it's not just a pickup truck there and
There you go.
fiddling about or
All
something.
right, we can work on that.
Yeah.
And so Anglefly, just in case people don't know, it is
Yeah,
like the
okay.
gentleman was saying, this is a jewel in the middle of Somers.
That's right.
Where can you go in Somers where you have a 670 odd acres that you can walk through? There's 10 miles of trails.
That's great.
In there. You are in the middle of that, and you could be in the middle of the Catskills or the Adirondacks and the peace and serenity and all the good things that come with that. Right there. Many people don't quite know that it's there. And it's a beautiful area where you see a lot of things that you haven't seen before. So it is one of the great things in Somers. It was formerly going to be a development.
That's right.
There are some condos that are falling down up there still, and luckily the town took it over when they went bankrupt, and you've been managing it ever since, and with the help of the scouts. And if I might say to the scouts, I grew up in Yonkers. One of the best things that ever happened to me was being in the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, I learned in life, be prepared. Right there's,
Well,
and so you've been prepared. You've been preparing everything up there for the town, and it is a town treasure, and so are you.
well, thank you so much.
So Michael, you've done a lot in the town. You're my go-to when it comes to spaces, Renosas Creek is, one of your visions, and maybe most people don't know, but you were part of the whole conservation easement with Stewart's Apple Orchard.
That's right.
Which, just changed the whole, dynamic of what was going on there, family business, cultural, and in perpetuity. So, and it's a conservation easement, which is a big deal.
Yeah, no, that was,
Creative solution as well. I mean,
Yeah.
brilliant.
thank you. Thank you. I have to credit the Westchester Land Trust for
They were involved.
They were involved, yeah. But, and I really appreciate the town's willingness to take that on, and because they put some skin in that game, for sure. Yeah, no, I added it up, and over the years, certainly over the last 25, if you add together all the conservation easements that we've put together, and there are many more than people might realize, and the acquisitions and so forth, we've protected over 1,000 acres in Somers.
Well, and you also put on, you introduced the concept of the 30-30-30
30 by 30, yeah.
Yeah,
We
so,
adopted.
which we adopted, and, it's getting hard.
It is.
I mean, we're a rural community and, it's growth and demand and building is something that we just trying to manage. I mean, you saw it here tonight.
That's right.
So,
Yep, there are a lot of needs in a town, and it's very difficult to balance it. And I applaud all your guys' work in that regard. So I know it's not easy.
well, and
We just have to defend the open space. That's all.
well,
You guys,
it's all volunteer.
yeah,
And that goes without saying. I mean, the town runs on volunteers and, your work is appreciated. Everyone's work is appreciated.
yeah. Well, we appreciate the appreciation.
There we go.
Keeps us going.
Well, I appreciate you back.
And we hope others come forward and bask in the appreciation as well, with a little bit. Yeah.
So you're not moving to the West Coast?
I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in New
thought so.
York. I wasn't born here. I did grow up. I don't think so, but I do have to go back there quite often.
You have family there.
Yeah, well, 4 grandchildren. It's
Yeah.
Wow.
that's a demand.
Wow.
Well, bring them here.
I tried. It didn't work.
Ankle fly.
Yeah,
No
no,
place from the.
they love to visit. But
All right. Thank you, Mike.
yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
thank you.
All right.
Everybody leave.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if everybody's
So everybody wants to
You
leave
can,
now,
you
so
can stay or you.
feel
guys
free.
can stay, or you can go. Mike, we'll give you a couple seconds to get out.
Yeah, I didn't know you can use.
We just need everybody to go outside.
Now, does that mean you can use small firearm, small game hunting?
But you can't stay here.
Sure, but are they limited? They'll allow a shot.
All right, we're gonna get
Guys, can we move it outside?
Adam. Can we just? Yeah. Thank you.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, let's move right on here
Thank you.
this evening. Let's go to number 3 here. St. Luke's Church storage shed. Anybody have any comments on that?
Build.
They can have
No
it.
comments, go for it.
All righty. Something we need to do. We just need to refer it out to the. There's no response from the planning board. Okay.
Did you want to speak on that?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I realized I couldn't read.
You want to speak?
Agenda.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give you a quick update. So the St. Luke's application, because they're in the Business Historic Preservation District, they wanted to have a storage shed for their thrift shop placed on the property. In discussions with the building inspector, that requires a site plan or site plan amendment. Because it's in the Business Historic Preservation District, there's a whole process that needs to be followed. One of which is having a pre-application conference. I worked with the BHP Technical Committee. We determined that we could probably they waived the pre-application conference, given that it was such a de minimis requirement. And the planning board met last night. They approved the site plan amendment, subject to your board having no objection to the provision of the shed. Now, there's an automatic referral of this application to your board. That's why it's before you tonight. It's like a 10 by 12 shed. So the planning board approved it, subject to your board having no objection to the application.
Fine. I don't.
No objection.
Objection here.
No objection.
I thought.
Welcome to government.
Good.
I tried to make it as easy as possible for
You did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, anything that'll help them. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Dave, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, number 4, consider adoption of the administrative procedure for town-owned or foreclosed properties. We do get a lot of requests that come before us for people to purchase property that has been foreclosed here in the town of Somers. We have put together a procedures list, and this was a hands-on from a lot of people. The receiver of taxes, Michelle McKerney, our the assessor's office, my office, town clerk's office, Roland as well. We all worked on this, trying to make it easier and a procedure putting in place for how to follow it and go about doing it. If you're interested in in a property that is a foreclosed property, you would have to, the first thing would, you'd send an email to my office requesting to purchase the property, and includes the address of the property and what their intent is for the property as well. And then there's a whole list of things that go on there. We'll forward it out to the receiver of taxes, to the assessors to confirm that it is a town-owned foreclosed property. Then we'll submit it out to the highway superintendent, to town engineers for initial review. We may need the property for a reason, for stormwater maintenance or of that nature. Then we look at everything else from there, and then we kind of go through the process. But if you're interested, you can contact my office, supervisor@somersny.gov, and we'll walk you through the process on that.
Does it go through a bidding process as well?
It could, right, Roland?
You know, years ago, if you recall, when we took title to that rather expensive house, we had to sell it. We didn't have to go through bidding, and of course, you could keep all the excess profits. No longer is that the case automatically. Now we have to go through a laborious public notice
State law.
requirement.
Yeah.
State law was
3 times over 6 weeks.
Yeah, you have to publish multiple times, then you have to have a public auction. And then the proceeds, other than recovering what were delinquent taxes and some of your costs, the excess profits have to be deposited into court for 3 years. And the town has the responsibility of giving notice to the former owners that they have excess proceeds available to them in court. And then after a period of 3 years, if no one's claimed the money, then the town can reclaim it back. So it's a huge process. So you kind of have to make sure that that some of these parcels are worth it, because it's the same process, whether it's $500 or 15,000 that you have to go through.
That house you refer to, at the time that the town got, the town and I just happened to mention it tonight, we were strapped for cash for a lot of things.
Yes.
And that was something like 675,000.
There was a windfall
that came in that allowed us to do some projects, Van Tassel and some other places. And the irony of it is that the foreclosure was by a bank.
Right, which gave the new
gave the new owners the mortgage to buy the house from us.
We won't name
So
the bank.
the bank financed us, which we appreciate very much. It was all legal back then.
Yeah.
But,
Today it would be far different.
yes, I understand.
Roland, thanks for explaining that a little bit more in detail. Make the motion to adopt the administrative procedure for town-owned foreclosed properties.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So move. Patty, we're gonna take number 5 off the agenda for this evening. Number 6, request permission to purchase a pre-built 12-foot by 24-foot shed from Bay House Gazebos and Barns, not to exceed $11,570.20, including delivery per memo dated February 5th, 2025, from Frederick McQuillan, Superintendent of Water and Sewer. Make a motion to request permission to purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. 7 here, Patty, we'll put A and B both together. A is approved and executed 2-year renewal on OnSolve for the Code Red standard and Code Red weather warning service in the amount of $16,300 from April 13th, 2025 through April 12th, 2027. And then the proposal from ESI Group Employee Assistance Program received January 8th, 2025 in the amount of $3,275 effective January 1st, 25 through December 31st, 25. So everybody out there, the Code Red system that we do have in place here is to get notifications, events of weather, or there's an outage in a certain area. We use that. People who are on the list may receive a text message as well, but it's something that we communicate with our residents here in town. And then the ESI program, that is for employee services, helps them with certain things, just for therapy, appropriate therapy, diagnosis-driven treatment referrals from healthcare, insurance plans, wellness coaching, self-help benefits, online training, and personal development as well. It's another service that we provide to our employees. I'll make the motion here to authorize superintendent to execute A and B, number 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay. Now we just approved the foreclosed properties. We have 2 of them on the agenda for this evening. Refer request to purchase 1 parcel from the town of Somers, 0 Hanover Street, lot 47.16-1-21 to the assessor, highway department, parks and recreation, planning and engineering department, and the open space committee for evaluation and recommendation to hold or sell the property. I'll make the motion to refer the request out.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And number 9, same thing, refer to purchase 1 parcel from the town of Somers, 33 Forest Lane, lot 99.99-9-9 to the assessor, highway department,
Good
parks and
job.
rec,
Really?
planning, a lot of 9s, engineering department, open space committee for evaluation, recommendation to hold or sell the property. Make the motion to request to refer out.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So move. Patty, we have 3 more add-ons here. Second. Here we go. We did the sewer ones. This one is here for 13, execute the contract for archaeological study for the Anglefly Preserve. And this was requested by the New York State Office of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation. As we are doing the, going forward on the access road, this came to us from New York State Office of Parks and Recreation to do an archaeological study there. I believe one was done many, many, many years ago, Dave, right? But 2005, right? But they wanted a new updated one. So we're in the process of hopefully prepare that for them if we execute that tonight. So I'll make the motion to execute the contract for archaeological studies.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. And then we have here another add-on award bid to Rainier Pump Systems, Inc. for the replacement of a pump at Travis Road, and that is the primary pump station, and that is for $26,600. I'd like to make the motion to award the bid to Rainier.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Didn't this come?
Is it operational or it was broken?
Oh, the bid. That's what it was. Okay, thank you.
Is it broken?
It's on the
Yeah, it needs to be.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Sure.
shot.
And then the other thing here is refer request from HRL for open development area designation to the Somers Planning Board. Make the motion to refer the request out for HRL to the Somers Planning Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
That will come back to you
Mhm.
for action
You're welcome.
with a recommendation from the planning board.
Okay.
You know when they will take that up? Their next meeting or?
Probably
Assume that they're
the
Yeah.
12th.
Okay.
All right, financial, authorize the 2024 budget transfers and modifications per request from Robert Kehoe, Director of Finance. Make the motion to authorize the 2024 budget transfers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So move. Current vacancies here, Affordable Housing Board, there's two-year terms ending on 7/11/26. Assessment Board of Review, a 1 5-year term ending 9/30/2029. And then we have a Planning Board, 1 7-year term ending 12/31/2031. I think we're all in agreement here. Make the motion to appoint Paul Cheverdini to the Planning Board for the 7-year term ending 12/31/31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And also Parks and Recreation Board, we have 2 3-year terms ending on 3/9/25. As we move on, authorize the promotion of Farah Clearly from recreational leader to senior recreation leader in a probationary status at an annual salary of $72,081, grade 5 per memo dated February 3rd, 25. From Steve Rawson, Parks and Recreation Superintendent, effective February 24th, 2025. Farah is immediately reachable on the promotional list for this title. I'll make the motion to authorize the promotion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we also want to acknowledge the hiring of Stacy Conley as a part-time intermediate clerk in the town clerk's office as a budgeted hourly rate of $24 per memo dated February 5th, 2025 from Patricia Calba, town clerk, effective 10th, 2025.
Second.
Or we just like,
We, we,
Acknowledging.
and let me just say,
Acknowledge it.
I've not met Stacy Connolly, but she must be an outstanding person for the clerk to hire her to fill shoes.
of
A legend. The plan of clerk's office.
Irish.
All right, then let's move on to here, the consensus agenda. I'll make the motion to approve the consensus agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right. We do have some calendar events here coming up. March 6th is our town board work session. March 13th is our regular town board meeting. Both of them are at 7 p.m. And then April 3rd and April 10th, work session, a regular meeting, both again at 7 p.m. Patty, you want to do fun facts, or you got a fun fact from that?
Pitchers and catchers, right?
Today,
That'd be great.
Sunday for Sun, Monday for
a Super Bowl, some kind of football.
Okay,
something.
on this day in 2016, we lost the great Antonin Scalia, Supreme Court Justice. On this day in 2000 was the last comic strip published in the newspaper for the Peanuts, and it was just hours after the passing of Charles Schultz.
Oh.
Oh. All a happy theme here.
Oh, it gets better. We're 1 day into pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training, 4 days out from the full day of spring training, and 42 days from the Yankee home opener on March 27th against the Brewers.
All right.
Thank you, Patty.
Go, Patty.
Bill, anything?
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, guys. Just a gentle reminder.
Say what?
Yeah. Don't forget.
Rich?
No, just best of luck to all the high school teams that engage now in sectional postseason play.
All right.
And spring sports start in a month.
True. Anthony?
I just can't get over that Super Bowl game, but I don't want to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing to remember.
You know, there's if you are a offensive lineman on the Chiefs, I would start looking, you know.
For a job.
Yes.
I'd have to. Tom, anything?
I'm good.
I have nothing here either, so I'll make the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, everyone.
Thanks, sir.